when we started the project, we had two imaginaries. One was the pile of stones and rocks that we found here on the site and that you see now around us. And the other one was climate change. The fact that especially in the north of Europe, climate change is much stronger and faster than in other areas. And so we wanted to bring those two together with the community of scientists around here that work on the issue of climate change and create something that's like a red thread in our work that is to make the effects of life, of cycles of nature visible. And so we came up with this project that is actually splitting the river that is created here in the landscape park in two and creating a new artificial islet made from rocks that we found here, and half of the island is heated to +5 degrees to recreate the conditions or the predictions of climate change for the next 100 years. That's the life cycle of the project. And so then we plant everywhere the same species, and we run an experiment together with the scientists from the university and the Vetenskapens with the children to see how the plants will adapt to those different conditions of +5 degrees and the normal condition, and then evaluate this over the next 100 years.
So it's actually a living artwork that stages climate change in real time, I think, in short, no? But it's also, as Eva said, it's an island of stones, but it's also a sanctuary of pioneer plants. And in my imagination, like when we are walking around the island, I also see in it like a leftover of a prehistoric river. It's like a visitor from ancient times. And in fact, when we were constructing the island, there was a huge, very old rock found, or a boulder found here, which we couldn't move, and we incorporated it in the landscape. And the rock is 1.8 billion years old, so it's really, we are a little bit anchored in prehistory here.
So that's what happens when you try to look into the future. You actually start to look into the past and to try and understand what happened in the past, and the fact that Earth went already through 5 heat and cold catastrophes, basically climate catastrophes, and many species were lost at the time, and Earth always and the species always were in this relationship to adapt to the new conditions. Only now it's happening so fast that everybody and all the species would have to adapt really fast, and that's what we're trying to create conversation around. So we also see Future Island as a conversation piece to simply talk about it.
Well, I guess there is no framework or a process or protocol. You can develop the imaginary a little bit more freely, and somehow, because this piece is also about adaptation, so we ourselves as practitioners, we also adapt to the conditions of how to actually make this project happen. And there was a lot of back and forth and a lot of experimentation which happened here with what we were given when we arrived. So each trip was supposed to be for specific tasks, but obviously all those tasks were a little bit shifted in time, so we had to also ourselves adapt to the building site, to the different people who were working with us to make this possible. So that's an interesting point, and that was not scientific. That was a kind of, I would say, adaptation. Try to follow the script that we had.
It's also not pre-designed, no? Because we developed it through just going into it and step by step, no?
Yeah, of course.
It's not like the difference between art and architecture projects is that architects would need to pre-design a lot that we were free not to do it.
Exactly,
So this is the beauty of the project, and this is also the success of the project in our view. But also we started, I think that's also important, there was a conference called The Living Environments a couple of years ago. It's organized by Statens konstråd, right? And they, at the time, they actually accepted the fact that the art starts at the beginning of the overall project. It's not put in place as an object after the fact, after everything is already designed. So we really work together with architects, scientists, and landscape architects. The House of Science is a great partner with inside this living artwork, which is called Future Island. And they are the messengers or the storytellers of the project. So while the island will stay and we will move away from Stockholm, they will be the storytellers of the project. So what it means is that they will monitor, so this is a group of young scientists here, like at the Stockholm University. They will come and monitor the project, but they will also be able to talk about it. And there will be, for instance, climate sensors on the island where they will interpret the humidity, but also the temperature of the soil and of the water in the rivers. And they will also be able to have certain workshops here. But that said, I think for me it's very important to say that this is not a public space open to all. It's a protected area, and especially in the new geological age that we found ourselves in, the age of the Anthropocene, we realize we are part of nature, which also means that we have to think about our relationship with nature in a different way. So it's more about caring for it. So these kind of questions started to develop during the project.
Yeah, and we also see the piece as an anchor of hope. Rebecca Solnit, she said that by engaging in the possible future and being able to shape it, that creates hope, and we find that very important, especially when working with young people and children. That climate change is like a doom scenario, but there are possibilities that we can engage with and understand and start to shape our future in a different way. And so we see it as an ongoing conversation.